well, it's as solid as ever. The magic number entering tonight is down to 8. Stadium opened in 1970. This season, in 2000, the Pirates say goodbye, and it's on to PNC Park next year for the Pirates. That's Jim Leyland. He's on the payroll of the St. Louis Cardinals, but boy, he has brought some great memories to those fans here in Pittsburgh, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's going to have to go to work now for the Cardinals, but Jimmy's sort of a special assignment scout for Walt Jocketty, but at this time, those guys really do a lot of hard work, advanced scouting for the playoffs.
That's Al Rabowski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Great to have you with us as the Cardinals look for their first season series sweep here in Pittsburgh since 1990, and after tonight, the magic number could be down to 6.
Well, you just go out here, you win your ball game, you take care of yourself, but Tony La Russa, you know, he's very cautious, but you know he's very confident inside.
Cardinals host the Cubs for 4 games beginning tomorrow at Busch. The Reds over the weekend will host the Brewers for 4 games. That'll be at Cincinnati. So the Cardinals and Rick Ankiel will be on the mound tonight, and Ankiel has been very good the last 4 or 5 games.
He really has. He really is developing into a pitcher. The interesting thing about that, the Cardinals are going to win the Central Division, but they earned it by beating the Central Division. They're 10 games over 500 in their division.
Tell us quickly about Todd Ritchie on the mound for the Pirates.
Well, he was a 15-game winner last year, and he's pitching well now.
Ritchie and Ankiel head-to-head tonight. Cardinal baseball is coming up next. The Cardinals and Pirates conclude their 3-game series tonight. The Cardinals' final visit to Three Rivers Stadium and the final series meeting of the year between these two teams. The Cardinals have beaten the Pirates this season. They're up in the series 7-4. Southwest Airlines brings us our starting lineup. Drew, McGuire, and Edmonds. And then Clark, 321 on the road. 7 home runs. Tatis, Langford, Paquette, Matheny. Rick Ankiel will hit 9th for St. Louis. You know he can be a weapon in that lineup. On the mound for the Pirates, a right-hander by the name of Todd Ritchie, who was very good a year ago, Al.
He won 15 games a year ago. He's had a little bout on the disabled list, but since that time, he's pitched much, much better. And many people believe he's pitching now as well as he did when he won 15 games a year ago.
Well, normally you see graphics throughout the night on your screen at home. You'll be seeing them hopefully later as we get underway. It's 7:05. 73 degrees, our temperature at game time as we start here in Pittsburgh. Cardinals look for the sweep. But back to the graphics. We are working on it. Our machine is down, but our great crew here in Pittsburgh is working on it. We hope to have them throughout the night. 1 ball and 1 strike on J.D. Drew. Drew Polanco will fill in for McGuire, who is on deck, and then Edmonds.
See, he's a shortstop today. Been a second baseman, left fielder, and now a shortstop. Play enough games on the road, he might get all 9 positions.
Cardinals 31 and 25 during the most recent absence of Mark McGuire. That's tap foul by J.D. Drew. A little different lineup for Tony La Russa here tonight because of the left-handers that were out of the lineup last night. Take a look at our Chrysler Jeep starters, Rick Ankiel and Todd Ritchie.
You see, Rick has a much better ERA, a lot more walks, but that many more strikeouts.
Changeup, got J.D. Drew. 1 away here in the first. Let's go around the horn defensively. Behind Ritchie, Keith Osen will be at first. Mike Benjamin makes the start. Morris on the bench. John Wayner is at third. At short, it's Pat Mears. Emil Braun in left. Adrian Braun is in center. In right, Alex Ramirez. And Jason Kendall, the all-star, behind the plate. Here's McGuire. And his lone at-bat of the night. 0-1. Last night, tapped it to short. In his only at-bat, he's been hit by a pitch. He's popped up. He has homered since coming back on Friday night in Milwaukee. 0-1 pitch. 1-1.
I think Mark is feeling at least each time it gets a little bit more competitive, giving himself that opportunity eventually to pinch hit late in the ball game.
In the hole here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now 553 home runs for McGwire, 10 back of Reggie Jackson, who stands in 6th place on baseball's all-time home run list. The 1-2 pitch. 2-2. Now you more than likely will not see Mark McGwire defensively play in St. Louis. There was some talk that may happen, but McGwire's knee just is not responding. 2-2 pitch. Rip fair down the left field line, and that'll be a long single probably for Mark McGwire. He is limping up that first base line, and he'll stop at first.
We should get Speed Tracker out there to see not Polanco, but to see Mark McGwire. But his second hit, he hit a home run on Monday night, dead center field, but here he gets a base hit there, and you see not really moving well. And it's that initial step, you know, you really don't know. He's got to be very cautious. And you see, so still very tender. That's a little bit of the frustrating thing, is the more he increases his activities, the next day he gets sore and sore.
He said even running around after the home run, the next day his knee was very sore. Here's Edmonds, who was out of the lineup last night, back in there tonight.
I think he really feels at least a little more part of the team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such a... He hadn't been to postseason since '92. It's got to be killing him. But he still could be very interesting, most dangerous pinch hitter in the game.
Edmonds fouls that away and into the seats. Ball and a strike. One and one on Edmonds. Jim is sitting on 39 home runs. Two and one.
Then you have a sinker slider pitcher out there, and he really has struggled this year against the Cardinals. 0-2, high ERA. Jimmy a little bit unorthodox from a left-handed standpoint. Traditionally, a high percentage are all low ball hitters. He is the opposite. He's a high ball hitter. Quick move there, and Polanco gets back. Kind of just spun around and threw the ball there in a close play, and it really looked like the tag was made at the bag.
Two balls and a strike on Edmonds. Evens the count at 2-2. Take a look at our Hyundai key matchup. Career against Todd Ritchie, Clark, Tatis, Drew, Polanco, and McGwire. All have had success against this right-hander. Two and two on Edmonds.
See if this is not a slider coming in on Edmonds.
Fouled away.
He kind of made it, had it out away from him. That slider is a lot different. You know, that's a great out pitch to a right-handed batter, but it can be effective to a left-hander, but sometimes you have to elevate it a little bit and throw it in on the hands or above the hands of a left-handed batter. Hard to do.
2-2 the count on Edmonds. Polanco at first, one away. We're just underway. There's a line drive into right. That could be trouble. Ramirez can't get to it. Polanco around second. He'll stop at third. First and third, one away. Back-to-back base hits. McGwire and Edmonds.
Jimmy extends his modest hitting streak to 6 games right now. And Danny, you really want to get out there and beat these guys. This ball he hits, it's down, and he'll even tell you he's not a very good low ball hitter. He likes the ball up, but that's the one he chases frequently and swings through. Polanco, good base running, didn't need a coach there. He knew where the depth of the right fielder was and knew that he could get over to third easily.
Will Clark will step in. He was not in the lineup last night, along with Drew and Edmonds.
Now, that's the beauty of winning last night, resting your veterans.
On the way off the bat of the thrill.
You know, resting all your left-handed bats with the Serafini, a left-handed starter.
Against right-handed pitching, Clark is hitting .339. Hit 9 home runs in his first 31 games played for the Cards, including last Thursday. It's been something else.
He got his .418 average on the road.
RBI opportunity here. Down the left field line, that'll find the seats in on a play.
Well, he has just given a lot of energy to this ball club with his intensity. One of these days we're going to have to ask him point blank. Do you ever think there's a pitcher that can get you out?
His answer would be no.
Oh, I'm sure it would be. It would be a polite no, but you know, no. Every time I make an out, I make the out, not the pitcher.
I don't think it'd be polite. The 0-2 pitch, ripped down the right field line. A fair ball for Will Clark. 1 run scores. Edmonds being waved home. Clark on his way to second. Edmonds will score, and just like that, they grab the early lead. Last night, they have it here tonight. 2-0 St. Louis. RBI double to score for Will Clark, and Clark now has 26 RBIs.
And once again, just seeing this ball right here, with only 1 out, and I mean, it's hit down in the right field corner. But what a tremendous job not only Will Clark has done, but how about Jose Oquendo, his first year at coaching third base. Very aggressive, but with very good judgment, and very few times has anyone been thrown out to play. You know, in order to do that job, you do have to get a couple guys thrown out because you want to be aggressive. But he has been remarkable in his first season at third base coach.
That'll bring in Tatis, a 5-game hit streak on the line here tonight for Fernando.
Very, very solid baseball man. He just, at some point in time, he's going to get a shot to manage. You know, he is that sound of the baseball guy. And couldn't be happier. Tony La Russa is so pleased that he has worked out at third.
Tatis had a home run last night. Pops this one up, left side. Foul ground. Wainer. Near Oquendo. Puts it away. 2 outs. And it's up to Ray Langford. Our graphics machine is down. We are working on it, so when we will see the batting average and RBIs and different things throughout the night, we'll have that up at some point, we hope, here tonight. Will Clark at second. Picked up an RBI double to put the Cardinals on top here early on. 2-0 St. Louis as Langford steps in. Langford hitting .251. A drive center field. Brown going back at the track near the wall and puts it away. Ray gave it a ride, but not far enough. Third and final out off the bat of Langford. Will Clark has given St. Louis a lead. It's 2-0. 3 hits in the first for St. Louis. McGuire, Edmonds, and Clark. Clark an RBI double that scored 2, and it's 2-0 Redbirds on top. Let's take a look at our starting lineup for the Pittsburgh Pirates, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Adrian Brown will lead things off, followed by Mears, then Kendall. He's been hot his last 13 games. Alex Ramirez, Osick, Brown, Wainer, Benjamin, and Ritchie. On the mound for St. Louis, a lefty, 21-year-old rookie, Rick Ankiel.
Well, he's had a tough time against the Pirates this year, but his 8th win, his last one, was against Pittsburgh on August 23rd. He really has pitched very well of late, though.
As of late has been the key. Allowed just 1 home run to a left-handed batter this season. 2.08 ERA in his last 4 starts. Struck out 27 in those 4 starts. Allowed just 15 hits. 2-0 quickly on the leadoff man, Brown.
He's throwing a lot more strikes, but moving him over to the third base side of the rubber has done wonders for his mechanics.
Tatis in at third. There's a strike, 2 balls and a strike. Talking with Dave Duncan before the game, and he said, Al, that in the minor league system, they were trying to have Ankiel do what he's doing now, moving on the other side of the rubber, but it took until about 2 starts ago for him to do it. Fly ball lifted into right. Drew is there, puts it away. 1 out here in the first. Around the horn we go for St. Louis defensively. The thrill at first, Will Clark. Frank Paquette at second. At third, Fernando Tatis. Placido Polanco at short, Renteria the night off. Ray Langford dancing in left. Jim Edmonds in center. Drew is in right and behind the plate. Mike Matheny. Here's Pat Mears. 2-0 St. Louis.
Isn't it great that Matheny has started so many games that the club option will probably automatically be kicked in.
Not a free agent after this season. Club has an option on Mike Matheny after this year.
I would think that would be the quickest one to pick up in the world.
Oh. Now it's not just about defense when we talk about Matheny, it's about offense too.
You better believe it. He is on fire.
0-2 pitch.
The pitch tracks, that last pitch was 94 miles an hour, and you can see how it stayed up out over the plate. He got Mears to swing at it, foul it off. Kind of like looking at that pitch tracks. It's a lot of fun to see some of the movement, see where these balls locate. Good curveball there, foul.
Outstanding feature, pitch tracks here on Fox Sports Net.
You see this last delivery, it was a breaking ball. It was outside, but it was off speed to where Mears expanded his zone, fouled it off, and 2 quick strikes here for Rick. Another breaking ball.
Kendall on deck, the 0-2 foul back.
Oh, they're doing trickery. 2 and 5 are fastballs.
You like pitch tracks, don't you?
Yes, I do.
There's a look at Kendall. He awaits on deck.
For a simple man, it's kind of complicated for me, but I'm getting the hang of it.
Good play by Matheny. Strikeout number 1 on the night for Rick Ankiel. 2 away.
Rick is really changing speeds, doing a lot of things. You get ahead of the count, and there you see that good curveball. Look at it, 10 inches down. Starts out on the outside corner, and then it drops 10 inches and changes speed after a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. That's, you know, it looks good, but then the bottom falls out.
That'll bring in Kendall.
Very nice piece with you and Mr. Kendall.
He's a nice guy. He had 2 doubles last night. May have 1 here tonight. Round first he goes, and he'll trot into second with a 2-out stand-up double. Well, Kendall came in hitting .323. That'll rise after that double by Kendall.
Kendall stands in there very open, and then he squares up to the plate. Now, a lot of people think you really want to jam him, but you see how he dives and gets that ball out there and then just hooked it.
That'll bring in Alex Ramirez. Ramirez hitting .214. 22 hits and 103 at-bats this season. 4 home runs and 18 RBIs. Osick is on deck. Cardinals grabbed the early lead thanks to Will Clark. RBI double that scored 2. Kendall is at second. And the 1-0 from Rick Ankiel.
Let's take a look at the double off the bat of Jason Kendall. The pitch tracks as you see the ball coming. Now there you can see sort of that angle, the 3-dimensional angle, and follow it back to the plate. I mean, it was a good pitch off the plate, but a guy that hits with a real open stance like Jason Kendall dives into it. Most people think you can have a very good success jamming them. They have good plate coverage out away from it.
They can go out and get it with that momentum that takes them that way. 2 balls and a strike. Kendall is at second.
Of course, the one thing about Jason, you know, is remember how many times he's been hit. You know, you dive in, you pitch inside like that, and he kind of spins away from it.
Sharply hit, bobbled by Paquette. Stays with it, over to first. Not in time. First and third. And Paquette has been fighting lately in the field, Al.
Yeah, really, that's a play that Craig makes more times than not. And he didn't panic. He threw the ball. And it's an error by Craig. That is his 14th error of the year. You see his foot kind of slipped out from underneath him, too, when he went to set it, and that didn't help his throw. And Will did a nice job to come off the bag to make sure that ball didn't get by him and give them an easy run.
First and third, 2 away. And here's Keith Osick all the way. Osick comes in hitting .314. Only 86 at-bats this season. He's a guy that backs up Kendo primarily. Saw him come in and play a little first base yesterday as well as third. We've seen him pitch this year against the Cardinals in a blowout.
He's a pretty good hitter against left-handed pitching. .357, and he's hit .349 in his last 15 hits. 15 for 43 with 11 RBIs, so very productive. Good backup type catcher. He's playing first base tonight.
2 men that have rates that are on base have come after 2 outs. Kendall is at third. And then Ramirez reached on the air by Paquette. Let's see if Rick Ankiel can bear down after that error.
Well, the good thing about Rick is he has that ability to get guys out, strike out, to pop them up, or just rely on his defense.
And the defense has been very good. And Ankiel is a perfect example of why a guy like Matheny can give you a comfort level with Ankiel and a man at third. Can bounce it up there, and Matheny's going to block it. 3-1.
Just let this pitch go. Don't aim it.
Line drive down the right field line, and that's fair for a base hit. The Pirates are on the board. Kendall comes around to score. Here comes another man being waved home. The relay is not in time, and we're tied at 2. Pair of RBIs for Osick, numbers 18 and 19, and this game is tied at 2.
Well, Rick Ankiel, it's 2 unearned runs, but that's not what you're concerned about. Your teammates gave you 2 runs, now you just gave them back. And that ball slicing into the corner. You know, sometimes, even though it's early, you got a 3-run pitch, you just got to make that good pitch down a way where you don't get hurt. A little bit, maybe too much of the plate. Emil Brown is a guy that, you know, Osick's hot. Emil Brown kind of struggling a little bit.
Brown hitting .220 on the year. 1-1 the count.
Has just 5 hits in his last 32 at-bats. That's a .156 average. He was a .300 hitter in 70 AAA games this year.
Air by Paquette comes back to haunt Rick Ankiel and the Cardinals.
And Danny, that's a fine line, and the responsibility of a pitcher. You know, you got those guys behind you. They're trying their hardest.
That's right.
Physical errors happen, but it really, when you bear down, when somebody makes an error behind you, really bear down so it doesn't come back to haunt you. It doesn't always happen, but that's at least your mindset.
Game is tied. We're early on here in Pittsburgh. 2-2. Osick is at second with 2 outs. And the 1-2 pitch. Good play again by Mike Matheny. We just take it for granted. 2-2.
Mike is so steady, and you just love the way he has battled all season long. And I mean, I'm telling you what, you talk about a tough competitor.
Playing for a while with a cracked rib.
Played with a cracked rib. Remember when he was with Milwaukee, he got hit right in the face. Never went down. I mean, just kind of shook it off, and it was a pretty ugly sight, you know, the blood. And played the next day, I think.
Ankiel, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and Brown is the second strikeout in the inning. But the Pirates get 2. Paquette, Matheny, and Ankiel threw up for St. Louis. It's a 2-2 game. Top of the second here in Pittsburgh, a 2-2 game. Paquette, Matheny, and Ankiel. And Craig takes a strike from Todd Ritchie. Cardinals played at 2 in the first, had 3 hits, back to back to back. McGuire, Edmonds, and then the double by Clark. Cardinals left a man on in that first inning. 1-1 pitch from Ritchie. 2-1. Paquette has been seen a lot of time. Renteria a night off, so Polanco goes to short. Paquette at second. Beanie has been out for a while. Right back at Todd Ritchie. 1 away.
Todd Ritchie, a former #1 draft pick, 12th overall of the Minnesota Twins, and came here as a 6-year minor league free agent.
Here's Mike Matheny. 3 runs, 3 hits, 3 RBIs last night. Also picked a man off at second in a key spot early on when the game was close. Nothing short of spectacular the last 3 weeks.
Ritchie did pitch in 57 ball games for Minnesota. They're all in relief.
Mike's batting average is at .263. Remember, this is a guy that signed in January, Al. This is a guy that didn't have a team. Barely made the club out of spring training. Dogfight with Rick Wilkins and made the team, and he's been outstanding. Last night, another big night, including his 6th home run of the season. That made it 6-0 St. Louis last night. Of course, the Cardinals went on to win it 11-1.
In his last 3 games, he's 8 for 15, a .533 average with a pair of home runs. Sits safely in 21 of his last 26 games at .380, raising his batting average from .226 to .263. And that's hard to do this late in the season.
Now you can walk, Mike. Got ahead of himself. Pitch before, and he's at first with 1 away. First walk handed out by Todd Ritchie.
Batting ninth, pitcher number 66, Rick Ankiel.
That'll bring in Rick Ankiel. Another sparse crowd here at Three Rivers Stadium. Cardinals looking for the sweep. First sweep in Pittsburgh if they can do it since 1990. Ankiel a drive into right. That's a base hit. Matheny will stop at second. 4 hits on the night for St. Louis. First and second, only 1 out.
Got 2 pretty good hitting pitchers right here. Ankiel picks up his 16th hit, and they're pitching him a lot tougher now. Their book is out that this guy can hit. But right down and in the middle of the wheelhouse. Looks like this ball is pretty much down the middle. A little bit to the outside portion. And not a tremendous movement. Ritchie can swing the bat a little bit too. He's batting .218 with 12 hits in the year.
Here's J.D. Drew. J.D. struck out on the changeup his first time up. Just got a piece of that changeup there. 0-1.
J.D. deservingly so, playing every day. And we haven't seen him be fooled too much on those changeups or off-speed pitches.
Polanco awaits on deck at the 0-1 to J.D. Drew. Fly ball lifted in left. Brown on the run. Leaps, and what a play! Wow! What a catch.
That's about as good a play as you're going to see from a left fielder. The flexibility of the fence protecting the bullpen comes into play. Look at him come over here, goes up against it. You see it give, but that allowed him to keep on reaching over and make that play. Great play, just a slight little padding. Danny, you don't see too many fields anymore that have just a chain link fence, because there's too many guys have gotten their cleats caught on that fence and severely hurt an ankle. I played with a guy named Brian Asselstein, tore his ankle up, ended his career. Bobby Valentine, it wasn't a chain link fence, but a fence in Anaheim. He went up against it, broke his leg.
Here's Polanco hitting .319. Looks at his strike. This is his first at bat. came in for McGuire, who had hit it to the wall for a long single back in the first.
It wasn't until the last few years that the outfield wall has been padded here. It was never padded before.
0-1 pitch. Fought off, lifted into right, but that's going to be caught. Mike Benjamin on the run into shallow right, makes the play. It stays a 2-2 game. The Cardinals strand a couple. They've stranded 3 on the night. Wainers due up for Pittsburgh.
Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder that
2-2 game, bottom of the second we go here at Three Rivers Stadium. The Cardinals' final visit to Pittsburgh and Three Rivers Stadium here in 2000. What's on Tap is brought to you by Bud Light. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, these are upcoming broadcasts. Friday night at 6:30, Cardinals tonight, Fox Sports Net. 1 o'clock on Sunday, WB11. Then the middle game, Saturday, will be with Joe Buck and Tim McCarver. Tuesday and Wednesday, the Astros come to town, 6:30 with Fox Sports Net, and games will be added for clinch situations if necessary. So we get down to that magic number, and it's a clinch spot. We'll have it on the air. Here's John Wainer hitting .286. Normally we show you the RBIs and averages of the players, but our graphics are down. We're working on that in our truck as we speak, so we apologize for that. 1-1 the count. Now Wainer's a guy that was a member of the Pirates for 6 seasons between 91 and 96. Played on those great early teams of the 90s for the Pirates. Bobby Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke. Wainer was a part of it, of course, off the bench mostly.
He's a local kid here and has had a lot of back problems. Spent most of the year in the minor leagues.
There's another strikeout for Rick Ankiel. 3 on the night already. First out here in the second. Big breaking ball there.
It's that big breaking ball, and Wainer gave up on it. I think it's outside, and then kind of drops down and hits the corner.
Here's Mike Benjamin. Looks at a strike from Ankiel. Benjamin hitting .288. 2 home runs and 16 RBIs. 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Ankiel. Quickly 0-2. The pitcher, Ritchie, is on deck. Well, a guy that we failed to mention by the name of Bonds, playing in San Francisco now. Of course, part of those Bucco championships. Jim Leland at the helm. He's in attendance here tonight. Was here yesterday. Bonds with 46 home runs for the Giants.
Oh, he's had a terrific month of September. There's Mr. Leland. And asked him if he misses managing. He said, nope. Mike Benjamin, who's at the plate, missed the last 22 games with a sore back.
Rick Ankiel looks good here tonight. 94 miles an hour on that fastball. 4 strikeouts on the night. 2nd consecutive in this inning. 3rd consecutive now. Had a strikeout to end the first to Brown. Got Wainer to lead things off, and there Benjamin.
Haven't played in 22 games. You're going to be a little stiff anyway. And there's, oh, you know, we were about ready to take away the guru from Graphics Guru, but he's back.
He's back. Great work by our crew here in Pittsburgh.
See those 167 strikeouts? And that was coming into tonight, and he's added 4 more. That's up in the league leaders.
Overall, very good rookie campaign for Rick Ankiel.
You know, there was a period of time that you kind of said, you know, he's really not moving forward. But boy, in the last month or so, you can say he really has emerged. There you see the rookie wins. Remember, Rick was on the mound, pitched very well that last Friday night that the bullpen took a win away from Rick.
Saw Hergis up there, the Dodgers rookie, but we'll see, like 28, 29 with 9 wins.
Well, and he's, you know, you're in the rotation all year long for a team that wins its division. You're holding your own. And, you know, Rick's He has really learned an awful lot. He's learning how to pitch, how to change speeds and take a little off, even off his fastball.
2-2 pitch to Ritchie. Just missed. Full count. As Ankiel is looking to strike out the side. Three-two pitch. Ritchie got a piece. Little looper into right. And a base hit. Into the stands it goes, and
got a little double.
Yeah, Ritchie's on his way to second. How about that?
That's what this artificial surface really changes the game in so many ways. If this is natural grass, JD probably catches that. But because of the artificial surface, he pulls up so the ball doesn't get away from him. It gets away from him anyway, and then it goes into the stands, so it's a ground rule double. With all the rain, if we had a grass field, it would have plugged.
Like in golf on a green. Here's a leadoff man, Adrian Brown. Fly to right his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Ricky Ankiel hasn't had much luck here early on. First 2 runs in this game were unearned. After an error by Craig Paquette, he's playing second. Now that double off the bat of Ritchie. First pitch is strike to Brown. But as you have mentioned, Al, time and time again, these are things that you have to pitch around.
And you see him working on the third base side of the rubber. It allows him to be a little freer with the hips. He's not throwing across his body as dramatically. And those mechanics to the point to where instead of landing heel to toe, very stiff and puts a strain on the shoulder, he now gets a little flexibility and driving a little more towards the plate and frees the arm. Also helps him throw the breaking ball.
In the third, Chicago leads Cincinnati 2-1. That's fouled away. 0-2 the count. Magic number could be at 6 after tonight. Wouldn't that be nice?
Would be fabulous.
0-2 pitch. 95-mile-an-hour fastball there from Ricky Ankiel.
And there's going to be some good races. You know, the Mets already won today. And Atlanta has really had its problems against Florida. The wild card and the American League West is up for grabs.
Third time tonight, Matheny has gone to the knees and blocked the ball. Stopped a runner from moving up. We're only in the second inning.
It's a good technique, and a lot of times Ankiel, and the changeup is in the dirt.
There's a big strikeout for Rick Ankiel. 5 now on the night through 2 innings. Ankiel looks sharp. It's a 2-2 game. Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Bud Light, the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Net. And by Southwest Airlines, who brings freedom to the net. With affordable fares and frequent flights, log on for low fares. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of e-freedom. Here's Jim Edmonds. Singled and scored. First time up. And he takes a strike. We're underway here in the third. It's a 2-2 game. Ricky Ankiel looks good early on. 5 strikeouts through 2 innings.
He needs to kind of get over that hump of not pitching well in this part.
Ground ball hit to second. Benjamin over to first. 1 away. Edmonds is 1 for 2. Let's take a look at this day in Cardinal history, brought to you by Schnucks. September 13th, 1964. The Cardinals became the second team in Major League history to score at least one run in each inning, beating Chicago 15-2. This day in baseball history is brought to you by Schnucks.
And if you beat the Cubs, does it still count?
It still counts.
Oh.
It does. We will see the Cubs first of 4 tomorrow night at Busch Stadium. Be nice to head back home. Hot zone of Will Clark, Al.
Well, you can see how hot he has been, a 354 average. He got a double and 2 RBIs, so you can, it's obvious there'd be a lot of hot zones there. This guy's got a lot of plate coverage.
Got a lot of different faces, too, doesn't he? Different looks.
Face of stone.
Happy, sad, stoic, frowning. Intense is the one that always comes to mind, though. Ground ball up the middle. Nice diving play by Benjamin. Throws to first and got him. Heck of a play there by Mike Benjamin.
Especially a guy that's just missed 22 days because of a bad back. He got tested there and he came through. He has a 96-game errorless streak at second base. That's about 450 chances. His last error at second base was June 6, 1998.
We've seen 2 great defensive plays by the Pirates turned in here tonight. The first was Emil Brown in left, robbing J.D. Drew. And that one there by Benjamin at second. Thought that was going to get through on the AstroTurf, but Benjamin had a different idea, and there's 2 outs. Here's Tatis, 0 for 1 with a foul out his first time up to John Wayner third.
Been really swinging the bat very well. Like he pulled off the pitch the first time up when he popped up.
1-1. On Tatis coming up tonight, the 11 p.m. regional sports report. Rams 49ers, they get it on this weekend at the Trans World Dome. Blues camp rolls on, and football 101. What is that all about? Find out tonight on the 11 p.m. regional sports report. 1-1 pitch to Tatis. Pulled off 1-2.
Where are those guys?
Rob Nicoleski and Rob King, your golfing buddies from this morning, and also the anchors of the 11 p.m. regional sports report. They'll be in attendance tonight, right?
Supposedly.
So your buddies.
Probably tying their ties.
1-2 pitch. Got him. Second strikeout on the night for Todd Ritchie in a 1-2-3 inning. Mears, Kendall, and Ramirez due up for the Pirates. It's a 2-2 game. We move to the bottom of the third here in Pittsburgh. It's a 2-2 game between the Cardinals and the Pirates. Hey, Cardinal fans, on Wednesday, September 20th, when the Cardinals play the Astros at Southwestern Bell, Mark McGwire Pin Night. The first 30,000 fans with a paid admission receive a pin highlighting Mark McGwire's milestone of 500 career home runs. Compliments of Southwestern Bell Communications, the official telecommunications provider of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's next Wednesday when the Cards host the Astros at Busch Stadium. Bottom of the third we go. Here's Mears, then Kendall and Ramirez. Rick Ankiel is struck out 5 already tonight. He's looked solid. There's a fastball in there for a strike to start the bottom of the third. Mears, his first time up, struck out one of the 5 victims of Ankiel's. Good off-speed pitch. Tatis is there. Over to Will Clark, and there's 1 away. Like to see Tatis charge on that, not have Ankiel field it and then have to twirl and throw.
Yeah, it's a much tougher play, and especially you want that third baseman coming in. He's used to coming in. He can throw on the run. Rick has made 6 errors this year. You know, he's a lot better, but anytime you can make somebody else field the ball and make them throw, especially when they're looking towards first base rather than having first base behind you, much easier play.
And the Pirates have 3 hits on the night, one of them by Jason Kendall. He doubled and came around to score. His first time up, hitting .324 on the year. Quite a story is Jason Kendall. Coming back after a gruesome ankle injury And if you saw the pregame show tonight, you know how gruesome it was. It was sickening how bad that ankle injury was.
Well, and because of his hard work and that rehabilitation, they say he's actually running better now than he was a year ago.
This guy can hit. Hitting over 300 this season. Of course, his father played in the major leagues.
His dad's the bullpen coach for Colorado. Very fine baseball man that Jason alluded to, and he was a catcher also.
Ball and 2 strikes. It's a piece, fouls it back.
See if they don't try to get inside now. There's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Keel has hit 6 batters this year, and Jason Kendall last year was hit 12 times and 101 times in his career, spanning 5 years. Good breaking ball there, didn't get the call.
2-2 the count.
75-mile-an-hour curveball, and you see the illusion. Starts above the strike zone, drops all the way down to the bottom, but didn't get the call.
Ground ball to short. Polanco charges over to the thrill, and there's 2 outs. The Club MLB Roadshow brings the big league experience to your backyard. Visit it for free at the Plaza of Champions outside Busch Stadium during the Cubs series, which begins tomorrow at Busch Stadium. It opens 2 hours before each game. So the next 4 nights, starting tomorrow night at Busch Stadium, the Club MLB Roadshow coming to town.
That's something we really want to recommend to all the parents. Take your kids through there, see a little bit of the history of baseball, and kind of a mini collection from the Hall of Fame, just all kinds of all aspects of baseball.
Here's Alex Ramirez. Ramirez reached on an air by Paquette his first time up, then the next man up, doubled. All happened with 2 outs, and that's how the Pirates scored their runs, as Kendall and Ramirez would score. The double was off the bat of Osick. He awaits on deck. Pirates have had all kinds of injuries and pitching problems this season. They were expected to at least contend, or at least have a shot at it. But that has not happened. They got off to the wrong foot and stayed that way all season long. J.D. Drew on the run. That's out of play.
And Danny, when you have monetary constraints, you just don't have the wherewithal. If your frontline players go down, you have to go to minor leagues. A lot of times they're free agents or borderline to begin with.
Al, think about this. This is a team that had a $9 million payroll in 1996. As Ankiel gets the strikeout his 6th this season, now their payroll is at $30 million. It'll go up next season when they move into their new ballpark. Ricky Ankiel is doing the job tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, if the Pirates score 5 or more runs, all fans are invited.
This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Jack in the Box. 2 million antenna balls can't be wrong. And by your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers. Here's Langford to lead things off for St. Louis, hitting .251. It'll be Langford, Paquette, then Matheny. Ray fly to center his first time up. It's a 2-2 game. And we're in the 4th here in Pittsburgh. Off the plate, foul ball. And that's something, though, Al, we were talking about it before the inning ended. Payroll now is just over $30 million, probably up to 40, 45 next season, and it started at $9 million in '96.
And Danny, the shame of it is about 5 years ago when they started their new stadium plans, they're thinking, well, the additional revenues, now we can go and we can compete. They're in the bottom third now. There's
Kevin McClatchy,
the owner here. But even with the additional revenues and moving into the new stadium, they're going to be, still in the bottom half,
right?
Even with the new revenues, because the costs have gone up so tremendous, and the salaries have gone up. So a lot of these clubs have thought that the new stadium was going to save them. The economics has gone past them.
2 walks handed out by Todd Ritchie, leadoff man aboard. in this 2-2 game. St. Louis Cardinals this month, of course, are 9-3. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. Hitting near 300. The runs are near 6. Home runs and stolen bases. ERA, I think that's the most important stat out of any of the ERA and the starting pitching in particular. The ERA at 3.35, but the starters have just been exceptional.
The Pirates, they start the month of September. They win 8 straight games. Now they've lost 4 straight. And 8 was the total amount of wins they had in the month of August. 8-21.
Here's Paquette. Fly ball lifted down the left field line. Hooking foul. Craig has really stepped it up offensively. Kind of went through a downtime when he wasn't playing that much, but picked it up here lately.
Now you get an opportunity to start a bunch of games. You're seeing big league pitching instead of maybe once a night or once every couple days. Or when you start getting 3 or 4 bats a night, then you start feeling like you got a fighting chance.
The Pirates have signed Giles up now. He signed a big contract when we were in here earlier this season, and Kendall just recently turned down a contract for $60 million in extension. So, of course, they want to keep him around for a long, long time, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Kendall has another year left on his contract. That's next season, but many in the baseball world think that Kendall will be gone this offseason if the Pirates cannot reach that extension and make sure they get something back in return before they run out of time.
Well, apparently a lot of it was deferred, and that was the stumbling block of that 6-year, $60 million contract.
1 ball, 1 strike on Paquette. 2-1. Langford is at first. He drew a walk. Nobody out here in the 4th.
Let's see if we don't put a little running game on. Hit and run possible.
8 count to do it. 2 balls and a strike. Lots of room to the right side. Richie's thinking the same thing. Al, with Darryl Kyle's win last night, the Cardinals recorded their 67th win by a starting pitcher, something that they hadn't done since the 85 starting staff posted 79 of the club's 101 wins that season. So the starting pitching has been effective from day one. Langford is off and running. Ground ball left side, and that's foul.
67 out of 84.
The club record of 89 wins by starters is shared by the 43-44 team. So the starting pitching, the starting 5, has really been the story here in 2000. Along with bullpen catcher Jeff Murphy, who you just saw. Two balls and 2 strikes on Paquette. Base hit in the left. 2 men aboard. First and second. Nobody out. Take a look at our Affleck trivia question here tonight.
Catcher Mike Matheny.
Which Hall of Famers and their brothers led the Pirates in home runs for 4 straight years? Here's Mike Matheny. So which Hall of Famer's brother led the Pirates in home runs for 4 straight years? First and second. We got some outstanding questions brought to us by Affleck Trivia. Boy, are they good. The way they're written is even better. They're outstanding. The way they're worded, the way they're written. I mean, I don't think they can get any better. We've got brothers, we've got sisters, we've got uncles part of this.
Depends on what is. Vukovic looking on. He's had his hands full, but a lot of it's due to the injuries of some of their pitchers. We experienced that in St. Louis. You lose a couple starters, Schmidt, Cordova, makes life tough. Dini, you know, with the good hitting Ankiel, you never know what he's going to do.
Swing and a miss there. Throw down to second, into center field. Langford on his way to third. That's a high throw, and the runners move up. Second and third, and still nobody out. And now Mike Matheny can hit away. An air charged against Jason Kendall, his 9th on the year.
His 9th, 120th the team. A high throw by Adrian Brown. Look at the ball sails over Benjamin. Then you see this throw, and it's a good thing the pitcher was backing up in perfect position, or the Cardinals would have another run and a man at third.
Second and third, Matheny, a grounder left side. Good play there by Wainer over to first, and there's one out.
Good play by Wainer. Good base running by Langford. That's a tough play, and with the runner coming back at you, you're trying to in between hops. You're going right around the bag. A lot of little things there, and Ray gets back, and there you see Wainer makes the play, sets himself, and throws out Matheny.
Here's a great thing about Ricky Ankiel. He's not an automatic out in the 9th spot in the order.
Not at all.
Chance to help himself here. Second and third. One out. And he looks at a ball.
They've got a base hit. First time up. He's got his average 250, it says. I had him at 254 before the base hit. And 2 home runs and 8 RBIs.
1-1.
That's what I like. 267. That's the right one, because they're cheating him one hit on the scoreboard in the stadium.
Hit right side. Play at the plate. Not in time. Langford scores.
Good call by Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire. Osick just made a good play, made a good execution, but Brian Nora in perfect position and stayed with the call.
Fielder's choice RBI. Ankiel picks it up. 3-2 St. Louis. Great base running here by Langford.
Watch him throw this ball right here. It's a tag play, and throw a little high, and you see his toe, his foot come right over the bag before Kendall could come down with the tag. So going on contact, coming hard home. Good slide and very good play on both ends, but Cardinals beat it out.
And still only one out. Here's J.D. Drew. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Looks at a strike on the inside corner. J.D. struck out his first time up, fouled to left field, and a great play by Emil Brown. They can only get one. J.D. safe at first. Another run scores. And it's 4-2 St. Louis.
Go back to the Ankiel at bat. Now listen, Kendall. You hear him say go in the background, and going on contact, and of course that third base coach is going to yell at you too. It's an easy play too, where maybe it probably wasn't on contact. It's just when he saw the ball was pulled to the right side, and Oquendo's yelling go.
Cardinals have picked up a couple of more runs, and they lead it 4-2. Outfield hits by direction for Polanco. Sprays the ball everywhere. Four 2 St. Louis. J.D. Drew is at first with 17 stolen bases. Cardinals have 5 hits on the night. Scored 2 in the first and now 2 here in the fourth. Placido Popped to second his first time up. Came in and pinch ran for McGuire after he had singled and scored for the first run of the game. Came around the double by Will Clark. Edmonds also scored.
That time we see him hit the right field now.
Lots of room that way. First baseman Osick holding at first with J.D. at first. And a 2-0 count.
Wouldn't be surprised if try and get J.D. with a lead, get out there and steal. Polanco hit behind him.
Up the middle, and a base hit. J.D. Drew on second. Going to third. Safe at third. Aggressive base running here by the Redbirds, and J.D. is at third with 2 away. Six hits on the night for St. Louis. Polanco's 1 for 2, and it's first and third with 2 outs.
Just that little controlled swing. And Brown kind of backed up like that. That assured. This was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Pretty strong, accurate throw.
Al, I think when J.D. saw Brown back up, that's when he made his decision to go to third.
Well, with his speed, and anytime a guy's going to go to his left or right, he should go and take the advantage and try and take the extra base.
Again, there's that AstroTurf. Adrian Brown had to kind of sit back and wait on that single instead of charging and come up gunning.
Brian Smith in the Pirates bullpen.
Center fielder Jim Edmonds.
And Edmonds will step in. Jim has a base hit. 6-game hitting streak now. He's also grounded to second. He's 1 for 2 on the night. Takes a strike. Don Ritchie has thrown an awful lot of pitches here early on. Clark is on deck. He'll come up if Edmonds can extend this inning. 1-1.
69th pitch was thrown right there. Edmonds, 4th in the National League in runs scored.
Has 119 runs scored on the year. 1-2 the count. Edmonds is approaching 40 home runs. He has 39. Only McGuire, Johnny Mize, and Rogers Hornsby are the other Cardinals to ever hit 40 or more home runs.
Well, let's get him to number 40 and over the century mark in RBIs.
Strikeout instead. Cardinals leave a couple. They have left 5 on the night. They scored 2 and they lead it by 2. It's a 4-2 game. This trivia question brought to you by Affleck. Looks a lot better. Which Hall of Famer's brother led the Pirates in home runs for 4 straight years? There's Joe DiMaggio, the Hall of Famer. His brother Vince led the Pirates in home runs from 1940 to 1943. Fly ball off the bat of Osick. Nice play by J.D. Drew on the run. 1 away.
Got that great speed. And boy, he can close the gap, and nice play. A pitcher will appreciate that type of defense.
J.D. Drew came up as a center fielder, but I don't know if you're going to find many better in right as far as getting a jump on the ball and covering ground. Now, his arm needs improvement. We've talked about that, at least the accuracy part of it. It is strong, but getting to point A to point B, there's none better. Here's Emil Brown. Struck out his first time up. Anfield has 6 strikeouts on the night. Two 2-0 the count. Two and 1. Broken bat. Clark on the run. Has a play. Makes it 2 away.
Good jam shot, and Rule makes the play.
Ankiel is set down 6 straight. Well, it's time for a FanFest Legend of the Game. Winners in our FanFest sweepstakes win Cardinals gift certificates, autographed baseballs, and tickets to the TV broadcast booth for the season finale. Tonight's FanFest Legend of the Game is Stan Musial. To enter our random drawing, visit foxsports.com, click on Midwest before 10 a.m. tomorrow, and click on Stan the Man, and you could win. So good luck from Fox Sports Net. There's John Wehner. He struck out in his lone at bat against Ankiel.
Ankiel threw him a great changeup right there and had him way out in front again.
Changeup, quite a weapon if Ankiel can get it over consistently. Brian O'Nora, our home plate umpire.
There's a breaking ball here, and you can see how it leaves his hand, comes in on the right-handed batter. Lefty going across and with a downward arc. Another changeup.
82 miles an hour, 1-2. Ankiel, Al, has made things interesting when you talk about a postseason roster.
Start making that location, and look at how you change speeds, but you make it off the plate. So you get a guy that's swinging, he's out in front a little bit, and the bat is already through the strike zone, and that ball falls off the table.
Depending on who you play in postseason play. There's another strikeout. Ankiel is going to be in the fold some way, somehow, one way or another. Whether it be out of the bullpen or as a starter, it could be the number 3 man. Clark Tatis Langford, 2 up for St. Louis. You're watching St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net. The Cardinals lead it here in Pittsburgh as we move to the top half of the 5th. They lead it by a couple of runs, 4-2. 6 hits on the night for St. Louis. Will Clark to lead things off, followed by Tatis, then Langford. Clark has a double here tonight, pair of RBIs. Was robbed in his second at bat on a great play by Mike Benjamin up the middle, the second baseman for the Pirates. 1 for 2 on the night. Fought off and popped up. Wehner puts it away for out number 1.
Will Clark 1 for 3 in the night, batting .350, and you can see he sprays it. A lot of his hits are going to be pulled, a lot of his power, but yet he still will hit enough balls out to left field to keep you honest.
Fernando Tatis will step in. Hit streak on the line here tonight. Homered last night. Also had 3 hits. Fights it off. Base hit into right. He's on his way to second. He'll have to hurry up. Throw into second. Not in time. Ramirez made that play close. And a 1-out double for Tatis.
Extends his hitting streak to 6 games, and it's good to see him. You know, he fights this ball out, and he sees that it's going to be a base hit. He makes the decision to go. He's feeling much more confident in his own physical ability, and the fact that he is healthy now, running much better, and using good judgment.
The Cardinals are going to go anywhere in postseason play. He has to be close to 100% dialed in, don't you think?
Definitely, and he is beginning to get there.
And so does this guy, Langford, who has quietly been stepping it up lately. They're kind of overshadowed by Mike Matheny and his progress last 3 weeks, and also Tatis coming around the last week or so. But Langford has picked it up. Walked and scored his last time up. He's also flied to center.
It's not going to brag about that batting average, but the 23 home runs and 60 RBIs are starting to get attention.
Chance to add to the Redbird lead. 0-2 the count. Cincinnati on top of Chicago, 6-2 in the 5th. Mets have already won 4-1 over Milwaukee. Atlanta on top of Florida 1-0. That's in the third. San Francisco trails early on against Houston 1-0 at Enron Field.
That's Enron Field, though.
So that'll be up to about 20 combined runs.
The one run was there when they exchanged lineup cards.
0-2 the count on Ray Langford. Langford a drive into right. There's a base hit. Number 8 on the night for St. Louis, and here comes Tatis. He will score easily. And it's 5-2 St. Louis. And Langford is going to take his time over at first. Looks to be a little shook up as he made the turn.
I kind of wondered why he didn't go to second, but obviously, whether it's a hamstring grabbing, you always worry a little bit about his knee.
Well, he's been complaining, Al, of a sore hamstring, and that may be the problem.
I see him trying to stretch out, and it might have grabbed him a little bit, and I'm sure Tony will say, come on, it's time to get a little treatment.
Cardinals lead it now 5-2, 61 RBIs on the year for Langford. And that was another reason why Tony held Langford out of the lineup yesterday along with Edmonds, and Ray is going to exit this game is because both of those players are complaining of sore hamstrings.
That's the right leg.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a little cautious. Britt Reams, I wonder if he's going to go and pinch run. And he went to cut. See him right there when he went to cut. The right one?
Yeah.
Yep. So he'll precautionary. Sometimes he just grabs you. Dunston will go in. Well, that makes sense. He'll go in and take the position.
Ray, a good night. 1 for 2, a run scored, and now an RBI. And it's 5-2 Redbirds. Of course, the Cardinals looking for their first season series sweep here at Pittsburgh since 1990. Well on their way to doing that, as Paquette will step in. He has a base hit. He's also scored here tonight. He's 1 for 2. Todd Ritchie was ready to throw, but Dunston wasn't at first.
I can keep Dunston out of the lineup. He's 3 hits his last 2 games each.
First pitch to Paquette. Well, coming up tonight, the National Sports Report immediately after this game. The most intimidating sports figure, Shark Alert in Sydney, and Lou Holtz on the open mic segment on the National Sports Report coming up tonight. After the Pirates and the Redbirds here on Fox Sports Net. 3-run lead for St. Louis here in the 5th. Dunston at first. 1 out. Paquette hits it left side. A fair ball down the left field line. 2 hits on the night for Paquette. He's on his way to second. Dunston to third. Second and third, and only 1 out. A chance to bust this game wide open for Mike Matheny and the Redbirds.
Nice going, Craig. 2-game pastry. He's got a single, now a double, a breaking ball, and hits it just inside the bag, down in the left field corner. So a great scoring opportunity with 1 out. And a guy that's been racking up the RBIs. Mike Matheny has 17 RBIs in his last 18 games.
Matheny tonight has walked and grounded out. Infield in. And gets a fly ball here. Deep enough to score Dunston. Dunston will score, and it's 6-2 St. Louis. RBI for Mike Matheny. That's number 46 for Mike. Well, he came up last time, Al. Similar spot. Did not do the job. This time he does.
Just get that sacrifice fly, and that's great news.
9 hits on the night for St. Louis. They lead it 6-2.
I think that tied Matheny. That ties Matheny's career high of 46 RBIs. He had a 96.
I think if you would have said before the season that Mike Matheny is going to throw out 50% of would-be base stealers and he's going to hit around 260, you would have said, we'll take him for sure. We'll take those kind of numbers for sure. He has surpassed all expectations. And Keel looks at a strike.
Remember that after Pat Hinken signed with the Cardinals, or was traded to the Cardinals, he highly recommended Mike Matheny.
And Keel, a drive into right center. Ramirez going back. And he'll put it away at the track. Rick just got under it. Benjamin, Ritchie, and Brown do up for Pittsburgh. Mike Matheny, real high in RBIs. 6-2 St. Louis. 6-9-1 for St. Louis. 2-3-1 for the Pirates. We move to the bottom half of the fifth. Here at Three Rivers Stadium, and the Cardinals lead it by 4 runs. Well, coming up this weekend, it's College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net. The pregame show comes your way at 10:30, followed by Northwestern at number 22, TCU. Michigan State at Mizzou. And number 6, Texas, takes on Stanford. All coming up on College Football Saturday this weekend on Fox Sports Net. Rick Ankiel has looked very good here tonight. Greeted here in the 5th with a base hit by Mike Benjamin. He's 1 for 2 on the night. Dunston will get it in, filling in now for Langford in left. Leadoff double for Mike Benjamin.
Benjamin missed those 22 games, but he was hot before it, and now 1 for 2. He was 366 in his last 17 games. Changeup, but high up over the middle of the plate. And a first pitch changeup that's a strike in the middle of the plate, not a real good pitch.
Pinch hitter now. Adam Heisdu will pinch hit for the pitcher, Todd Ritchie. So Ritchie is done here tonight. 6-2 St. Louis. We saw Heisdu come in late in last night's game. Former #1 pick.
Now, Pirates have 4 hits on the night, and all 4 of them are doubles.
NL team lows as far as doubles are concerned. Cardinals at 233.
And they really have picked up the pace of late.
11 in this series. There's a strike.
To give you an idea, the Pirates have 286 doubles. And the Cardinals with 2 tonight. And it was 216, right? 233 is up. 214 home runs. That's where the Cardinals have been doing it. Almost as many home runs as they do doubles.
2 balls and 1 strike. Mike Benjamin is at second. Nobody out. And we're in the 5th. Good fastball there from Ankiel, 93 miles an hour. He has hit 96 a couple of times here tonight. Two and 2 the count. Another strikeout for Rick Ankiel. Boy, he is sharp tonight. That's 8 strikeouts. Heisdu cannot move over Benjamin.
Just throws this ball right by young man from Cincinnati, Moeller High School, where he broke Ken Griffey's career home run mark at high school. He hit 22. Doesn't sound like many for those guys.
Here's a leadoff man, Adrian Brown. 6'2" Reds in the 5th. That's at Synergy Field in Cincinnati. Now the Reds have just added a run to make it 7-2. Up the middle. And a base hit. A run will score. RBI for Adrian Brown, his 14th of the season. Cuts the lead to 6-3.
That's obviously a turf hit. Artificial surface, much faster. Fastball coming in on Adrian Brown. Really didn't hit it hard, but hit it right back up the middle, over the mound, and underneath the glove of Polanco for the RBI. That is Brown's only his second RBI while batting right-handed.
5 hits on the night now for the Pirates. Pat Mears will step in. He has struck out and grounded out. 0 for 2 on the night. Hitting .231. Hank Field is striking, piling up the strikeout numbers. He has 8. He has looked sharp here tonight. After tonight, Cardinals will head back home. Play the first of 4 against the Cubs beginning tomorrow night. Henkin on the mound. 2-0. Henkin, Reams, Stevenson, and Kyle in that series against Chicago. Counting tonight, the Cardinals have 17 games remaining. 10 of those at home. That's ripped for a base hit into left. First and second with 1 out. Mears is 1 for 3.
Mears concentrating, sees that ball, the grimace, and throwing the hands through the zone.
That'll bring in Jason Kendall.
Only 1 out here, and 6-3 ball game. Jason represents the potential tying run in the batter's box.
Kendall on the year with 14 home runs, a career high for him.
Hit .347 in his last 20 games. This is Pat Mears' base hit. You see a little bit off the plate, but ideally you would want that either on the corner, in or out. Foul ball, they're sending the runners back.
Yeah, a little confusion. It looked like that Kendall had not gotten a piece, but he did. No argument from Jason, so the runners will head back to first and second. Brian O'Nora, our home plate umpire.
This last pitch, you see him take the left hand off the bat, and it hit right on the knob.
That was odd, wasn't it?
Very odd.
Here it is again.
Remember, this is a guy that gets hit frequently, so it looked like he kind of threw his hand out there and then thought twice about it. And it hits the knob of the bat for the foul ball. I was wondering why Matheny didn't react.
Right. That just missed. 1 and 2. Jason Kendall featured on our pregame show. Cardinals tonight, this evening here in Pittsburgh.
Breaking ball, and you can see 10 inches. Drops 10 inches and down below the strike zone.
Fought that one off. And out of play.
There's the fastball inside. Be curious to see, does he get it inside off the plate? See, this is a good pitch here. That's what I was talking about. A guy that hits with a real open stance, and then he squares up. All that movement, you want to jam him.
Brown is at second. Mears at first. First and second. What time called?
Rick made a real fine pitch there because it's on the corner that you miss on, you know, if you give either corner or you miss inside off the plate.
And this might be 2 on to second. They got him. Brown caught no man's land there at second, and a double play. Drew, Polanco, Edmonds, 2 up for St. Louis. It's 6-3, Redbirds on top. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Steak and Shake. And by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, you can depend on Dobbs. New pitcher in for the Pirates. Here at Three Rivers Stadium as nightfall is upon us. Right-hander Brian Smith will enter this game. Made his major league debut on Monday night and tossed a scoreless frame after inheriting 3 runners. Began the season recovering from off-season shoulder surgery. Made 5 hitless appearances in the minor leagues and has made his way all the way back to the major leagues. Brian Smith on the mound for the Pirates. Last inning ended with a double play. Adrian Brown was at second. It was first and second, Al, and where was he going?
Well, one is where's he's going, and it's got a little humpback liner. You can see him. You want to break off with the pitch a little bit. But after this little soft liner goes in, look at him scared to go back. You know, I mean, go back feet first, go back head first. He's running like that, but then tippy-toeing like he's afraid of getting hit in the back. And that slowed him up to where they could complete the double play.
Here's J.D. Drew, 6-3 St. Louis. Top half of the 6th. We're at Three Rivers Stadium. Final game for the Redbirds here at Three Rivers and off to PNC Park. J.D. hammers that one fair down the right field line. Around first he'll go. And he is safe at second. Leadoff double for J.D. Drew. Lots of doubles in this series. That's the 12th for the Cardinals in this series at Three Rivers. 234 now on the year for the Redbirds in the doubles department. The Cardinal fans on Saturday, September 16th, when the Cardinals play the Cubs, it's Southwest Airlines Destination Day. All fans can register to win one of 16 pair of airline tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. Winners will be picked between innings throughout the game, all courtesy of Southwest Airlines, the official airlines of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's this Saturday at Busch. Here's Polanco. Run scored. Also has a base hit. Popped to second in his first at bat. 1 for 2 on the night. He squares. Fouls it away.
Blanco's just been very solid. His shot zone should be very interesting. Yeah. Down and in. Can't hit that one. Up and in. Not many people can. And then he has such solid plate coverage up and over the middle of the plate, but down and away is a troublesome spot. That's pretty basic, you know, with a lot of guys are going to have a similar one to that if they're a 300 hitter.
That almost got Polanco, 1-1.
Breaking ball that kind of backed up.
Al, this team is playing with so much confidence. You consider the way that this road trip started. Very easily could have won all 3 games in Milwaukee. Chance to sweep here tonight. They're playing great ball.
You know, Danny, they should have won all 3, but they're very resilient.
Good bunt by Polanco. The only play is to first. 7 sacrifices on the year now for Placido. J.D. Drew is at third. Just the little things like that that have made this team successful.
That's been kind of fun because Tony will tell you, they can play long ball with you, they can play small ball. Deaden the ball, that right hand high up on the trademark. That'll deaden the ball quicker. Knees flex.
Different guys with different roles, and Polanco, the utility man, is one of the best in the business. And you think about those championship teams in the 80s with Okenda and his role on those teams, similar to that of Polanco.
You can't play today's baseball without contributions from the entire roster. There are a lot of guys that will have nagging injuries all season long. Jimmy's one of them. Tatis not only had the groin tear, but he has a troublesome knee. Ray's had the Baki knee, and now the slight strain of the hamstring.
I was talking with Mark McGuire before the game, Al, and he read USA Today and saw that Mike Matheny's name was not mentioned among the Gold Glovers, projected Gold Glovers. Henry Blanco of Milwaukee was, and he just couldn't believe it as the infield is drawn in for Edmonds. And he says, you know, the reason that we're winning, it starts all up the middle. You got to have great pitching. Starting five have done that. Got to have a good catcher. They have done that. You've got Bina at second. Renteria very solid at short, and Edmonds a Gold Glover in center. Opposing base stealers, 48% of the time Mike is caught.
Well, he's picked off 3 guys, and you know, the thing is the throwing's been great. And that Blanco does have a higher percentage. I think he's 57. But you made an interesting point, too. He's missed a lot of time due to injury. But the thing is you can't emphasize enough the way Mike Matheny has handled the pitching staff.
Right. Full count on Edmonds.
You don't get those 67 wins from your starters without him really asserting himself and working hard with those guys and having them trust him.
And what did George Kissel tell us about 3 weeks ago, even before Matheny went on this little run offensively?
MVP of the club. I'm sure you won't get a lot of people to agree with that, but when George Kissel makes that observation, you know, that's saying something.
Here you see to the right of George Kissel, Coach Lackey. His daughter,
Coach now.
I'm calling him Coach Lackey. His daughter Emily is watching at home. There's a drive off the bat of Edmonds. That'll get down. Another run will score. That's J.D. Drew. He will trot in with the 7th run in this game at 7-3 St. Louis.
99 RBIs for Jim Edmonds. And a little tentative out there is Ramirez. Now this ball was hit hard, very hard. A lot of top spin on it. And Ramirez laid back on it, and the ball still almost bounced over his head. He's a high ball hitter. And this is a great example of how, for a left-handed hitter, he can get on top of the ball. But remember how I say, a high pitch in the strike zone, that is a hitter's. High pitch out of the strike zone or above the strike zone is the pitcher's.
This might be 2, and it is. Edmonds now with 99 RBIs. He extends the lead to 4. It's 7-3 St. Louis. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. A full moon. We're in Pittsburgh at Three Rivers Stadium. We welcome you back on Fox Sports Net. Rick Ankiel back to work. Dan McLaughlin, Al Rabowski. Glad to have you along as the Cardinals wrap up this 6-game road trip. It's 7-3 Redbirds. Alex Ramirez to lead things off here in the 6th inning. He's 0 for 2, reached on an error, also scored a run. Fly ball, deep right field. J.D. Drew on the run. Makes the play easily and right. One away. Kind of gliding to that ball.
Very efficiently had it all the way.
Yep. Well, coming up tonight after the National Sports Report, it's the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report. Nightly news dedicated to the region, St. Louis, Kansas City, and all over the Midwest. Rams and 49ers preview. The loose camp rolls on, and football 101. Keith Osick is 1 for 2 on the night. He'll step in with 1 out, nobody on. But a 2-run double back in the first. Fly to right in the 4th. Ricky Ankiel has been efficient here tonight. He has struck out 8 on the night. 1-1 pitch. 2-1.
91 pitches. He's trying to get through. This will be the 91st pitch.
Right to third. There's Fernando Tatis. Over to Will Clark, 2 away. This is shaping up to be an easy inning for Ankiel.
You get around, you know, you're at round 90 and through 6 innings. That's efficiency. He's no longer a thrower. He's really become a pitcher. He's changing speeds. He's been able now to throw strikes with his curveball and his changeup and changing speed off his fastball. He's learning how to get early, quick outs to keep that pitch count down so he can go deep into a contest.
Like tonight.
And much better command with his mechanics are falling into place now. He's not throwing as dramatically across his body, and that translates into more strikes with all of his pitchers.
It's now 9-2 Cincinnati over Chicago. That's in the 6th. 1-1 pitch. A strike taken by Emil Brown. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Little tapper left side. Rolling, and foul.
Take a look at the pitch tracks. Emil Brown looks at a breaking ball. He fouls. The top of his release point to where that ball crosses the plate, it drops 10 inches.
One and 2 the count. Nobody on, 2 away. Fastball that time, 95 miles an hour from Ricky Ankiel. Change speeds like he's done. It's going to be tough to catch up after he throws you that off-speed pitch or breaking ball and then throws that big fastball or comes back with the big breaking ball. 9 strikeouts for Ricky Ankiel on the night. 9 of them are through 6. And the Redbirds behind 11 hit attack here tonight. Lead it 7-3. After tonight, just 6 games left here at Three Rivers Stadium here in Pittsburgh. 209 days to the first pitch at PNC Park. They'll open that up in 2001. Pizza Hut will bring us our NL Central standings. Reds are 10 games back. Cardinals 23 games, a season high above 500. It comes in the cellar at 1684, and that's who we'll see in the next 4 nights at Busch Stadium. Congratulations to Don Baylor, of course, manager of the Cubs. Victory number 500 in his managerial career, and a complete game by Kerry Wood last night against Cincinnati. Just the second for Kerry Wood in his young career. Here's Tatis. Fouled to third, struck out, doubled and scored. Back in the 5th, his last at bat.
Number 1, his first complete game was a memorable one.
Oof, was it ever?
20 strikeouts against Houston.
Quite a debut and a way to arrive on the scene. Two balls and a strike on Tatis. (7-3) St. Louis. 2 runs in the first, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. 3 consecutive innings the Cardinals have scored in. 2-2. That caught the inside corner. Two pitch. Full count on Fernando Tatis. Cardinals looking for the sweep here in Pittsburgh. Tatis fouled that away. We'll do it again. 17 games remaining, including tonight. 10 at home, 7 on the road is left. Cards play 14 games against the NL Central, just 3 against the NL West. That'll be in San Diego. Let's see what they're going to give Tatis here, Al.
Another fastball away.
3-2 pitch. Up and in for ball number 4. Tatis is aboard once again here tonight. Well, on Friday, September 15th, Cardinals outfielder J.D. Drew will be signing autographs at the Gateway Country Store. That's in Bridgeton. This Friday, noon till 1 p.m. Then JD heads downtown to face the Cubs. Here's Shawon Dunston. Came in, took over for Ray Langford, who hit a ball into right. Would have been a double, but came up lame, circling first base. A slightly strained right hamstring for Langford. He was taken out of this game.
John almost walked into that pitch that was up and in.
Mark Hirschbeck, our first base umpire, said that was a ball.
John had 3 hits in each of his last 2 starts, including 2 doubles and a home run.
Tatis has been aboard twice here tonight. He stands at first. Big lead at first. And he's running. Easy stolen base there for Fernando.
He got hit in the back. So they're going to send Tatis back to first base. I'm not too sure Brian Honora comes out. Look at his backswing, comes back to why? I don't really understand this. He didn't fall across the plate or anything, but that stopped. Tatis is confused.
Home plate umpire Brian Honora will take his time, clean off the plate, and let Jason Kendall catch his breath. 1 ball and 1 strike now on Dunston. Dunston filling in for Langford, who left this game with a strain in his hamstring. Ray had a couple of runs scored. Off again. Fly ball deep into left. Brown going back, looking up, and that ball is gone. Dunston, a 2-run shot. 9-3 St. Louis. 12 home runs now for Dunston on the year. And he has been red hot the last 3 games. And tonight it's off the bench.
Unbelievable. He was 6 for 10 before this at bat. And we talked about 2 doubles and now his 2nd home run in 11 at bats. They were running and he just got a fastball and he just kind of opened up with his hips, dropped the bat head, and hit that home run with authority.
Here's Paquette. He's had a nice night. Still nobody out.
Scored 11 runs last night. They have 9 runs here tonight and 12 hits.
Watch his home run number 12.
Watch this pitch right there. See, if you're going to miss, you miss inside off the plate. A lot of guys now have that ability to really drop the bat head on that pitch that's down and in.
Popped up left side. Emil Brown will put this one away. 1 out here in the 7th. Since August 12th, the Cardinals have turned it up a notch. They're 22-8. The average is near 275, 5 runs a game, but the ERA close to 3.21, and that's the big difference with this team. Obviously, lots of runs in this series, but pitching the key down the stretch.
Well, the home runs are less, and I think the club has started to come together and play, fundamentally more sound offensively, not relying on the home run. Home runs will still happen, and they'll come. But when you start the running game a little more aggressively, you're hitting, running, and moving runners along, that's when baseball is fun. That's where fans really like to watch.
1 ball, 1 strike on Matheny. Blowout last night. 9-3 here tonight. And the Cardinals did it with their primary guys out of the lineup last night. They're back in there here tonight, but Langford has stepped aside with that sore hammy, and Dunston, doesn't matter where you play him, he's hitting lately. 1-2 the count on Mike Matheny. He's 0 for 1, but does have an RBI here tonight. Tied a career high for RBIs for Mike. 46 now in the year with Dunston looking on. Nobody on, 1 out. Strikeout of Mike Matheny. He's 0 for 2. That'll bring in Rick Ankiel.
Pitcher Rick Ankiel.
Ankiel has a base hit and an RBI here tonight. Steps in with 2 outs, nobody on. Nice cut there, 0-1. Tonight is the 29th appearance of the season for Ankiel, his 28th start. Oh, 2. Rick has had some bad luck as far as getting some decisions going his way lately. Lots of no decisions, but could have fared better. 0-2 pitch is grounded to second. Benjamin is there. And that's the third out. Shawon Dunston, a 2-run home run. It's 9-3 St. Louis. Now stay tuned for Sports Break from the Fox Network Center.
This National Sports Report Sports Break is brought to you by McDonald's.
What's up, everybody? I'm John Kelly with this sports break for the National Sports Report. The injury bug continues to bite Saints running back Ricky Williams. We will have the latest on his injury woes. Bobby Knight's still in the spotlight. Don't miss what he had to say on today's rally. And you do not want to miss a legendary football coach, Lou Holtz, coming up on tonight's open mic. We'll have all that and more right here on the National Sports Report.
To the bottom of the 7th we go. It's 9-3 St. Louis. Dunston, a 2-run shot last inning, and the Cardinals lead it by 6 runs here in Pittsburgh. Well, you see these two guys. That's Rob Nicoleski, and this is Rob King, formerly of WB11 in St. Louis and now part of Fox Sports Net 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report. It's based out of Pittsburgh, but of course it's a nightly news show dedicated to sports in the Midwest. Great to have you along.
You know the script perfectly.
I've been
for
there.
30 minutes of sports dedicated to teams in the Midwest.
Yes.
Stay tuned to the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report.
Now you guys not only do Midwest, but you do Pittsburgh as well, correct?
I do.
You do. Rob doesn't. You're just
No, I do some Pittsburgh stuff Sundays. I do the football show.
That's true.
And
now
the
what's,
occasional
whoa. Now why not? Where's the tie? We're up here.
Well,
you're in a baseball booth. This is Fox. You have to wear a tie.
I brought my tie, but Rob said he was not going to wear a tie. So I said, well, corporate casual, I guess, is the rule.
And you know, one of the things I was going to do, I was going to bring you up one of the big sandwiches from Permani's, which is a big Pittsburgh tradition, but I was afraid you'd get it all over your tie.
I've
So I
been
didn't
there.
bring it up for you.
I think Al's eating it right now.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times late night with a guy named Doug Stanton, a graphics guru, is in our truck, and he is a huge fan of the Regional Sports Report. Of course, Jay Query, a part of the Regional Sports Report. You guys are starting to make some headway in St. Louis. You enjoying what you're doing?
Oh, it's fantastic, and it's great for me personally to be back covering teams in the St. Louis area, which I love doing and did for several years, and of course I went to school there as well. So St. Louis is like a second home for me, and I'm looking forward to eventually getting out there with the show, which I think is something that hopefully is in the works.
I think that's the obvious question for people that tune in. They say, well, how do you guys do this out of Pittsburgh? But it still can be done.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see national programs, other networks doing things from, say, Bristol, Connecticut, or, say, Atlanta, Georgia. They cover the nation from there. So it can be done, but I think it makes it better if you're more hands-on and if you're in the city you're covering. I want to be able to go to Billikens practice, come by and see a Cardinals ball game, go to a Mizzou game, go to the practices, meet the players and the coaches more than I'm getting a chance to do now.
And hang out with Al Rabowski.
And Dan McLaughlin.
Oh, thank you very much. Nice plug. Here's John Wayner. He's 0 for 2 on the night. A couple of strikeouts against Rick Ankiel. Ankiel has 9 on the night, and it's 9-3 St. Louis.
I'm just happy to be anchoring with a guy named Rob because it makes your job easier. Because when you're at the site, you just toss back to Rob, and you can't be wrong.
I toss back to the regional sports desk and know that I'm getting competence at that desk with you two.
Well, it's a little-known fact that more and more of the regions are going with the anchors with the same first name.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I understand that Seattle's still is about to start having both their anchors named Bill. And the San Diego region now wants to have people only named Placido.
We're starting a trend.
Yes.
Yeah, we're way ahead. Hang on, I got to do something here, Dan. Okay.
Well,
here's the windup. Here's the pitch by Ankiel. Ball 1. That's high and away. I've done big league baseball now. I've done Major League Baseball. Really, no big deal.
For one pitch.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
keep
you
going.
stretch it out over 9 innings.
Do this at bat.
There's a pop fly going into. Oh, look at these folks. Look at them all. Look at them crowding for that fly ball. Okay.
Now you got to watch the screen
okay, here it is.
So as you can see, the pitch came from the pitcher's hand and was off the plate.
Yeah.
So that's a ball.
Chase went high and away there.
That's known in baseball parlance as a ball.
And that's a pitcher's pitch right there. I don't know, 1 count, getting him chased out of the count. Now Ankiel can really pitch anything here, can he? He's got him set up. I say he goes low and away here. Up, high and away.
Well, don't stop. Keep going.
You want to take one, Rob? You want to do Big League Baseball?
Rick Ankiel, one of the better hitting pitchers in the National League.
Is, man. He can hit.
As he's evidenced tonight as well. So I'm trying to look at the box score and see how Ankiel is.
Ankiel, the windup. Here's the delivery. Fouled off by Benjamin. Count remains 1 and 2.
I think there's a reason why you guys are behind the desk.
See, the thing is,
well, that's
you get to tell stories here in baseball. Like right now, you could be telling.
Hold on. You have to shut up and do pitch tracks.
And here's that was clearly a strike, so Benjamin did well to swing at that, even though he fouled it off.
You're impressive. He must have learned a lot from Rich Gould.
And Benjamin gets him to chase one out of the strike zone. Foul tip. That's the second ball foul tip. Mathenius hung on to both. Good defensive catcher. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Ankiel.
And here's Enrique Wilson. Here's another look at that pitch.
Number 25, Enrique
Yeah, got it up, and as we can see, it's out of the strike zone. Fouled off by Benjamin. 93 miles an hour.
It's hard for those hitters to lay off those pitches up around the eyes, isn't it, Dan?
Whatever you say, Mr. Nicoleski. Ankiel has really settled down. He has been good here tonight. Been very good the last month or so. Double figures in strikeouts. And a 6-run lead here in the 7th. Enrique Wilson at the plate. Ground ball left side. That's a fair ball. This could be 2. Wilson around first, and he'll trot into second.
Pirates picked up Enrique Wilson in a trade with the Cleveland Indians. Pittsburgh is a team that's really not going anywhere. This is sort of like almost like an extended spring training for them. Guys like Enrique Wilson and Alex Hernandez are getting some shots to see if they're really everyday players they can use in the 2001 season when they go to the new PNC ballpark just across the way.
PNC is going to be fun to see.
Yeah, this is one of the guys right here, Adrian Brown, that I think they're quite pleased with.
Yes, that's us. Now take it off the screen. You also have to do that. You have to be demanding sometimes with the guys in the truck. Tom Mee and Tom McLaughlin, Doug Stanton, and Lindsey Polite. They always do a fantastic job.
I understand you're a demanding taskmaster, though.
Big time, big time. Mike Timlin, big number 50, the right-hander, will come in this game. Ankiel looks like he's through for the night. Great outing by Rick Ankiel, and chance for him to pick up the win, and it'll be his 9th victory if the Cardinals bullpen can hold on. You two need to hold on. We'll take a break. 9-3 St. Louis. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs. Rick Ankiel has been taken out of this game, and it's 9-3 St. Louis. The right-hander Mike Timlin will come into this game and try to hold it for Rick Ankiel. It's part of our call to the bullpen. It's brought to you by Lowe's. Call Lowe's for all your home improvement needs. Lowe's improving home improvement. Dan McLaughlin, Al Rabowski, Rob King, and Rob Nicoleski from the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report. And you guys not only cover baseball, obviously, but the hockey scene, football, just about everything in the Midwest, right?
Yeah, the Blues training camp is starting up right now. Obviously, the Rams are a hot topic coming off the Super Bowl win. I'm looking forward to the fall sports. Well, you got Illinois playing football very well. Mizzou obviously has been having some troubles, but I'm really looking forward to SLU basketball too. Lorenzo Romar, I saw them play in the tournament last year, and they looked very good, very scrappy. They played very hard, and I think he's going to be able to recruit successfully and continue the tradition that Charlie Spoonhour started there.
A guy named Quinn Snyder has done a pretty good job down in Columbia, too. Well, coming up tonight, it is the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report. You guys will be talking about these different things. The Rams 49ers preview. Blues camp rolls on at Football 101. What's Football 101? What's that about?
That is a Rams story in which the Rams have a seminar for people who don't know a whole lot about football, gives them the basics of football. Also, the Rams 49ers story is kind of interesting, too, because in this very short period of time, now things have been reversed. Now the Rams are on top of the NFC West, and the 49ers are now looking up. And the Rams say they remember how the 49ers used to run it up on them.
49ers, and that game, the first time they came through to town last year was one of the best points of the season, I think, for Ram fans, because it broke a string of a number of losses.
17 straight.
Yeah, 17 straight against San Francisco.
And I think a lot of fans remember back to when the Rams first came in 1995. They were still playing at Busch, and they were 5-1, and the 49ers came in and waxed the Rams when Rich Brooks was the coach. Ken Norton Jr. was pounding on the goalpost, and I think a lot of people really felt like the 49ers showed them up, a lot of fans, and I don't think the fans have forgotten at all.
I'm a fan. I'm a season ticket holder.
Good man.
I haven't forgotten that. St. Louis isn't a bad town to cover, is it?
Oh, it's the best. For me personally, I love it. I'm from upstate New York. I'm from Cooperstown, but yeah, that's always home for me, but so is St. Louis. I got a lot of friends there. I went to school there, worked there for a long time, and I love St. Louis, love covering the sports there, and love the city.
Rob Nicoleski, you're getting your first taste, basically, of St. Louis, aren't you? And it's been nice, I assume?
Well, anytime you've got a team like the Cardinals to cover on a daily basis, that makes things a lot easier. Because I'm kind of getting the yin and the yang, covering Pittsburgh for the Pittsburgh show. And the Pirates are just having a horrible season. And you get tired eventually. I think fans get tired as well of hearing the same old stories. And tonight's a perfect example. The Pirates losing badly. But when you got a good team like this Cardinals team, and that ball drops in, it's a lot of fun. And this seems like a Cardinals team that really is fun to watch. And fun to cover.
Of course, the Cardinals have not been to postseason play since 1996. They will go back here in 2000. Tony La Russa and Walt Giacotti, they have assembled quite a team. And I know, Rob King, you had a chance to visit with Walt yesterday.
I did indeed, and we're taking a look at this replay, that little flare out to left field that drove in the run. And I was interested to talk to Walt in the construction of the team. How he put it together. He's been so busy. I don't think there's any question that he should be the executive of the year in Major League Baseball. When you look at the trades he did not only in the postseason, but during the season, and it's not just the Will Clarks of the world. I mean, Mike Matheny, that didn't even cause a murmur when he picked Matheny up, and look how valuable he's been for the Cardinals. So it's all come into place this year. He signed a lot of these guys for long-term deals, and I don't think there's any question but that he would be the executive of the year in Major League Baseball.
Pat Mears stands in. He's 1 for 3. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Not in time.
Now, I'd have appreciated Mike throwing that guy out after I gave him the big send-up there.
Well, that goes against Mike Timlin. He didn't have a chance. So Matheny has thrown out just about 50% of would-be base stealers this season. Averages at 260. I mean, this guy has been quite a find. He did not sign with the Cardinals until January. And he will be picked up. The club option will be picked up for next season.
The past month of the season, he's been absolutely remarkable. Last night when he picked off from Mears at second base, it really kind of turned the game around for the Redbirds.
Yeah, he's done that 3 times this season. With 2 away, man at second, the 2-0 pitch from Timlin. 3-0.
You'd have to figure, too, I think, Dan, at this stage of the season, that a lot of these guys are auditioning for postseason roles. I mean, the bullpen's going to be short, and one of the starters will probably have to move into the pen. That might squeeze somebody out of the bullpen. So I think each performance is going to be, maybe more in the minds of the players and the manager, weighed heavily. I mean, if they have a bad outing, they feel that that's going to affect their chances maybe to get into postseason. Now, it might be a little too early to think about that, but I'm not really sure that's not running through some guys' minds when they get out there.
Might be running through Mike Timlin's mind now as he just walked the batter, and now Jason Kendall comes in. Still a 5-run game that seems fairly safe, but Timlin might be getting himself into a bit of trouble here.
I've got a question for Rob King.
Yes.
Every time I mention the regional sports report, Al comes on and says, "Oh, you mean little Robbie King." Well, what's the deal?
Well, the deal is when we were doing the Whitey Herzog show, my first job in TV was as a producer, and
back in St. Louis.
Back in St. Louis, and I helped Al construct the questions for the Whitey Herzog show. And we'd have a fan write in a question for one of the players, and one day we didn't have any questions we particularly liked. I figured nobody knew who Rob King was as a producer, so I put my own name on a card and had Al ask the question, and he saw the name and he knew it was me, and so he said, "Oh, this is little Robbie King. I used to bounce him on my knee when, you know," and then that carried through, and I returned to KPLR, and then again here at Fox.
So you survived with the Mad Hungarian?
I did, and we survived on the golf course today. Had a good time.
Fly ball lifted into right, and this should do it. Timlin's going to get out of the inning. Guys, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
Real pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by our studios today on that.
You bet. Rob King, Rob Nicoleski. You can find them tonight at 11 p.m. on the Regional Sports Report here on Fox Sports Net. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, who brings freedom to the net with affordable fares and frequent flights. Log on for low fares. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of e-freedom. And by Auto Tire, we'll win you at great prices. We'll keep you with great service. Here in Pittsburgh, Dan McLaughlin, Al Hrabosky returns after little Robbie King and Rob Nicoleski make their way back to the Regional Sports Report. Hey, Cardinal fans, on Tuesday, September 19th, the Cardinals will play the Astros, and that'll be a mug night featuring Darryl Kyle. First 25,000 fans, ages 16 and over with a paid admission, receive a specially designed mug featuring the All-Star pitcher. That's next Tuesday, September 19th, when the Cardinals battle the Astros. Darryl Kyle mug night. Darryl now with 18 wins on the year. J.D. Drew will lead things off for St. Louis. Little Robbie King, huh?
Oh, yeah. Guess he hadn't learned how to tie a tie yet, huh?
Neither did Nicoleski.
How did those guys get on here without a tie?
You allowed him. You said you cannot come on our show until you have a tie, and you let him on.
George Kissel always taught me, when you go into somebody else's house, you don't rearrange the furniture.
J.D. Drew, outfield hits by direction. He'll pull the ball an awful lot. New pitcher in for the Pirates. This is Sauerbeck, Scott Sauerbeck, left-hander. Been charged with just 3 earned runs in his last 16 innings pitched. He's been good.
Good breaking ball there. You know, Smith and now Sauerbeck, these guys were acquired like Rule 5 draftees. Pitched in 65 games last year. 62nd appearance this year, and strikes out J.D. Drew.
Your thoughts on Rick Ankiel here tonight?
Outstanding. Outstanding once again. Goes deep into the ball game, and Rick is well on his way.
Placido Polanco will step in. Polanco tonight is popped to second, singled, and a sacrifice back in the 6th. Stands in with 1 out, nobody on, and a 9-4 St. Louis lead. Broke his bat into center. 2 outs. Well, no manager has been fired yet around Major League Baseball, but one guy may get the axe after the season. That's the Pirates skipper, Gene Lamont, rumored to be gone after this year.
Oh, it's really, Gino's a good guy. He'll resurface someplace in some capacity, but they had high expectations. This ball club is supposed to be a contender this year, move into the new stadium next year, be a real force in the division. And I think they're ending up with more question marks than answers.
Jason Schmidt, Francisco Cordova, Brad Klontz, Aramis Ramirez, Chris Peters, all have been injured this season. They had Cordero, remember? Will Cordero, that was supposed to help out. That was a mistake, signed a $9 million contract. He didn't pan out here in Pittsburgh. They've gotten good production out of Brian Giles. Kendall has bounced back. Edmonds takes a strike. 2-1.
Jimmy Edmonds, the Red Cross. The pitcher throws that spot right there. Not only is that a cold spot for Jim, but not too many left-handers are going to dive across the plate and hit that ball down and away.
It's a ball, too. Same pitch, got him. Edmonds didn't like the last 2. Doesn't matter. Ramirez, Osick, Brown due up for the Pirates. It's 9-4 St. Louis. Nine 12-1 for St. Louis. 4-8-1 for the Pirates. Three Rivers Stadium here in Pittsburgh. The Cardinals' final game ever here at Three Rivers Stadium that opened up back in 1970. College football Saturday on Fox Sports Net. A triple header coming your way. The pregame show will kick things off at 10:30, followed by Northwestern against number 22 TCU. And Mizzou will play host at Faurot Field to Michigan State, the number 24 team in the nation. And number 6 Texas takes on Stanford. College football Saturday, Fox Sports Net, beginning at 10:30. Mike Temlin back to work for St. Louis. Alex Ramirez will step in. He's 0 for 3. He'll lead things off. We're in the 8th. After tonight, back home to St. Louis. 2 homestands left and 1 road trip.
Doesn't look like the Cubs are going to be of help.
11-2 Cincinnati.
Yeah, 11-2.
Now, as you evaluate this team, the last couple of weeks left in the regular season, what are your concerns? What are the positives you think heading into postseason play?
I think the positives are what you alluded to. You know, the good starting pitching. For the most part, we played very sound, fundamental, and good defensively. But I think it's the overall attitude of the ball club that they take the field now expecting to win. They're very confident about their abilities of the pitching staff. They feel good about their offense. And Tony's, with this lead, having the opportunity to utilize all the bench, you know, rest guys, give them an opportunity to be fresh and to go into postseason. And postseason is just a crapshoot. You know, you take your chances when you get there. And the toughest round is the first round, 3 out of 5.
We're trying to get that eventual win when you're up 3 games to 1. Right back in '96 against the Braves. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On Alex Ramirez with Tony La Russa looking on. Christensen, the former Pirate, warming up.
You know, Danny, I think Walt Jockey would probably tell you that they probably should have made a few changes to that ball club after the '96 season. Because they were 1 win away from going to the World Series, they kind of left it intact, and it wasn't as good a team as they were led to believe.
I asked Walt to evaluate this team, and if the season ended today and they were going into their off season, what he would like to change about it. He said not too much, he said, because we have gotten younger. We've learned from our mistakes in '96, and one of the areas that he'd like to change is the overall team speed of the club. He said he'd like to get a little quicker, a little better on the base paths.
Well, and yeah, and we'll take a look at this on the pitch tracks. Pitch up and over the middle of the plate. See that right there? Even though it's an off-speed pitch, but it's sort of a hanging pitch and not in or out in the middle, and that's very hittable. You know, there may be a couple guys that, you know, maybe the Davises retire. You know, Shawon is making a great case for bringing him back. A real good person in the clubhouse also. But and then I think not only the team speed, but he's still trying to fine-tune the bullpen. Need another left-hander down there to go with Christensen.
Wouldn't you say if Timlin can develop something more of an off-speed pitch, he would be better served as well out of the bullpen?
Well, yeah, you know, and I talked to Dave Duncan about the split finger pitch. He has one. He just doesn't throw it. So, and that's one of the things that Dave's trying to do is, hey, you know, let's start using that a little bit. You can't always throw hard sliders,
right,
hard fastballs, and everything one speed where a hitter can just gear for something hard. Got to change his speed a little bit.
We saw Scarmetta last night for the Pirates, and he had 1 speed, and that was it. And he got knocked around all over the place. Throws hard, but doesn't matter. You've always said you have to be able to change speeds.
Well, and you have to be able to locate. And ideally, you have a little movement. Velocity, to me, is the least of the 3. Movement, a moving fastball, moving pitches are always tougher to hit. But location is also very tough. Think back to guys like John Tudor, Bob Tewksbury. but they could spot the pitches, and they all had, movement, downward action to the pitches.
Timlin to Osick. 3-0. Timlin is a guy that is very slow, very deliberate when on the mound. Takes his time. 3 balls and no strikes on Keith Osick.
I like Tim, and his makeup, is a little bit where I think that get him into a groove, get his confidence back a little bit.
Full count.
The velocity is there. You just have to, make a little better pitches. He's got the experience. He's closed games before.
First and second, nobody out. Last thing that Timlin wanted to do.
Well, it's one of these situations where Tony and Dave Duncan, tried to bring him in to really make him feel good about himself. Even though it's a lopsided game, but to be out there to finish a ball game, to finish a victory. And then when you start giving up base runners or not executing pitches, walking people, allowing the opposition to think you're back into it, it becomes counterproductive. They've kind of come out here and get him back on track a little bit. You've got to, be a father figure to these guys. You've got to be a mother. You've got to be a babysitter, and you also have to be a disciplinarian. You got to wear a lot of hats.
Cardinals came into tonight's game. The magic number at 8, a 10-game lead in the Central. San Francisco up by 8.5 over Arizona. Arizona 8.5 games out in the NL West. Emil Brown fouls that away. Atlanta 2-game lead over New York in the NL East. American League. American League West. Seattle. A game in front of Oakland. 8 back. Cleveland from Chicago. And same can be said, Boston behind New York by 8 games.
Oakland lost tonight to Minnesota 7-6. Houston's losing.
Base hit into left. Dunston comes up throwing, and the bases will be loaded. Emil Brown is 1 for 4. And now it gets interesting. Bases loaded, nobody out. Two base hits in this inning and a walk.
Looks like a slider, but you see once again it's really in the middle of the plate. It's not off the plate. See, there's a good example of what we're talking about. It's in the middle of the plate. Ideally, you want that to start about where it finished and then break off the plate.
This might be a double play. On to second for 1. The turn, and there's 2. A run will score. But the Cardinals will gladly exchange that run for the double play. And the 2 outs. 9-5 now, St. Louis.
I don't ever like to give up runs, but you're right. When you have that big lead, the defense is going to give up a run to get 2 outs.
That'll bring in Benjamin. Dave Beers beginning to throw.
Well, the problem is now that, a grand slam ties the game.
Polanco deep in the hole. Nice pick by Will Clark at first. We're ahead to the 9th. St. Louis leads it 9-5. 9-12-1 for St. Louis. 5-10-1 for the Pirates. 12 hits on the night. The Cardinals have done it offensively, and Ankiel, tonight's starter, was very, very good. Well, coming up tonight after the game, it's the National Sports Report, the most intimidating sports figure. A shark alert in Sydney, and Lou Holtz on the open mic segment. Coach Holtz coming off a huge victory for South Carolina this past weekend. Trying to resurrect that program. The Gamecocks. Lou Holtz later tonight on the National Sports Report. Cardinals looking for the sweep here against the Pirates. Will Clark will lead things off.
Wilkins appearing for the 45th time. He was sent down to Nashville AAA on April the 20th. Recalled on June 16th. And he's pitched much better. He really got off to a terrible start. Timlin looks like he's going to stay in this game and finish it out with a very efficient ninth inning.
Will Clark tonight has a double and a pair of RBIs. 1 for 4 on the night. Oh, 2 the count. Fond memories here, Al, of Three Rivers?
Yeah, I had some fun games here, especially when it was the Lumber and Lightning. You know, they would have about 6 left-handed batters, so I knew that I was going to pitch every day.
Think about some of the great players.
You know, when you think about Stargell, Hebner, Dave Parker,
Madlock.
Madlock never got a hit off me.
Is that right?
Never got.
Garner, Kent Colby,
Garner, your favorite,
yeah.
Kent Colby.
Tanner.
You know, yeah, Chuck Tanner, Bill Robinson, Bob Robertson,
Moreno.
Omar Moreno, but St. Ian.
Pulled foul off the bat of Will Clark.
Nice play by the ball boy.
9-5 St. Louis. Let's take a look at our Fox Sports Net in-game box. Up and down the lineup, there has been production, to say the least. Drew Polanco, Edmonds, Clark, Tatis, Dunston, Marquette, all with hits. Matheny has an RBI, and Keel even with a hit.
We need to give Matheny another hit.
2-2 the count. There's a rope for Will Clark. He has already doubled. That was back in the first. Looks like he may have another. On his way to second, and in there, sliding safely. Leadoff double for the thrill. 2 doubles on the night, a pair of RBIs.
Got the Cardinals started in the first inning with that double and 2 RBIs. See an off-speed pitch, but you leave that ball down and in. When you see, that's a very bad pitch to a left-handed batter. It's an off-speed pitch, so you fool him a little bit. You got him out in front. But where's the bat comes? When the bat comes across and then you leave the ball down and in, it's right there for the sweet part of the bat.
Here's Fernando Tatis, 1 for 3 on the night.
And his hitting streak to 6 games, scored a pair of runs. Moving much, much better. Whether it's in the field or running around the bases. And the batting eye and his timing is coming back.
0-1 to Tatis. 1-1.
And you know, Danny, when you major league pitching, you know, these guys have been pitching all season long. But remember how bad Tatis looked when he came back off the injury?
Sure.
Well, you know, that's the same thing. Mark McGwire actually missed more time than Tatis. And so it's only natural. It's going to take Mark the time to get his timing.
McGwire had a base hit tonight. Polanco came in and pinch ran and came around first on the double by Clark.
It really won't take Mark as much time as Tatis because his stroke is so much shorter.
Tatis now has a 6-game hit streak. with a base hit here tonight. He doubled back in the 5th.
Hate to have to use Dave Beers. Feel it's necessary to close it out with your closer.
Big swing and a miss, and a full count on Tatis. With 84 wins, the Cardinals are a very strong candidate to become only the 23rd team in franchise history to reach the 90-win marker. Only 6 teams in the club's history have won 100 games, last being the 85 squad. They won 101. Full count on Tatis. Right on that pitch. He's been right on a couple in this at-bat. 3-2. Fouled away. We'll do it again.
San Francisco has tied Houston on a solo home run by Barry Bonds, number 47.
Is he your MVP?
Tell you one thing we talked about with Langford is what you do at the end. And Barry Bonds, in the month of September, he just has electric final months. And it's really odd because he has such good Septembers that very poorly used historically in the playoffs.
San Francisco will add to postseason play. Dusty Baker. Pitch way in, first and second, and nobody out. Wilkins is struggling here in the 9th. As this game and the pace is slowed way down. Dunston will step in. Came off the bench tonight for Ray Langford. Strained his right hamstring. He's day-to-day, not a serious strain. He should be all right. Ready to go tomorrow as the Cubs come to town. Pat Henkin on the mound for St. Louis tomorrow night. 7:10 the first pitch at Busch Stadium. Reams will be on Friday night. Stevenson Saturday. And then Darryl Kyle on Sunday night. Kyle and Wood. Should say Sunday afternoon at Busch Stadium. That'll be a great matchup. Darryl Kyle and Kerry Wood. Want to know the count on Dunston.
The relationship between catcher and pitcher is so special. And when you have the confidence like the Cardinal pitchers do in Matheny, you almost think alike.
Dunston is homered here tonight, now at 12. Fouls that back. Al was looking for a souvenir, but not far enough. Could have been your last memory, Al, of Three River Stadium. A fine moment if you would have snagged that.
Oh, well.
Tatis at first, Clark at second. First and second, nobody out.
And Bob
Full-run lead.
Bob Gibson threw his no-hitter here, 11-0.
Dunston, right back to the pitcher. There's one on to first, and they got him. Well, good double play started with the pitcher, Mark Wilkins. And there's 2 away.
Boy, game of inches. Ball was hit hard enough that if it got by Wilkins, probably would have gone into center field. He makes a nice throw to his shortstop covering. Did he ever step on the bag?
I don't think he did. From that angle right there, I don't think he did.
Yeah.
Anytime that ball beats a runner to the bag, it seems like it's automatic, especially on a force play.
See, there's the throw. Now watch the left foot. If he did, his cleats just glided across the top of it.
Here's Paquette. He's 2 for 4.
Gibson and I combined for, it was a 13-inning game. He pitched 9. I've pitched the last 4, and the last 9 innings of that game were a no-hitter.
Nice pick by Kendall. 2-0 on Paquette.
That was a game that we got a run in the top of the 13th. With 2 outs, I walked somebody. And this guy popped the ball right at the mound. Joe Torres, playing first, called for it and closed his glove a split second before the ball hit. And I was relatively young, and he said it was the most embarrassing. It was like the final week of the season. We were battling the Pirates, and we were about a half-game differential between the two of us. And he came to the mound to see if I was okay. And he started to step on the mound, and I told him to get off my mound. He looked at me like, what are you? I said, you didn't ask permission to step on my mound.
And you were a young player?
I was a young player, and you know, and then I sit there, and I told him, I said, hey, thanks a lot. I wanted to finish this with a strikeout.
Did he laugh?
Well, I mean,
take the pressure off.
He just said, make sure you do it. And I struck out Hebner to finish the game.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Paquette got under that one. Into left field. Brown will put this one away, and he does. Third and final out here in the top half of the ninth. The Cardinals go for the sweep when we return on Fox Sports Net. Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net was brought to you by Budweiser, who salutes America's designated drivers. We all make a difference. Dave Veers will come into this game. It's 9-5 St. Louis.
Paquette moves from second base to third base. Renteria comes in to play shortstop and bat ninth. Polanco moves from short to second. And Dave Veers will close out this ball game.
Could be our final 3 outs here at Three Rivers Stadium. And Dave Veers is brought in from the bullpen. It's part of our call to the bullpen, brought to you by Lowe's. Call Lowe's for all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, improving home improvement.
They picked up save on Monday, number 25, by recording the final 4 outs. He got his 3rd win on Saturday in Milwaukee. 60 strikeouts and walked only 20 in 67 and 2/3 innings. And he has 7 saves and 2 wins in his last 14 games. This is not a save situation, but more importantly for the Redbirds, a victory here would reduce their magic number to 7.
Warren Morris will make his first appearance here tonight. He'll lead things off in the ninth. Morris, then the top of the order. Now one guy that we failed to mention, talked a lot on our pregame show with him, was Mike Easler. Part of that Pirates tradition in the 70s.
Mike Easler, the hitman?
The hitman.
You know, Mike is really a fun guy, our favorite, but cracks me up. Every time he's got his pupils around him, he just talks about, oh, man, I used to own Al. I crushed Al. I crushed Al. As soon as those guys walk away, he comes up to me and says, you know, Al, Tanner would never let me face you. He never faced me. But I just let him talk because he's talking positive. He's talking positive.
He loves to talk. There's no doubt about that. Renteria with 1 away. Hey, Cardinal fans, today's play of the game is brought to you by Budweiser. Brewed to deliver the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you. Shawon Dunston's home run to break this game wide open. Dunston filling in for Langford, who strained his right hamstring.
2-run home run there. His
12th home run.
12th home run.
Here's Adrian Brown. 2 for 4 on the night. Dunston with 12 home runs now on the year. 9-5 St. Louis. Brad Hange of the Cardinals PR staff called there during the break in the action and said, don't you forget about the hitman. And how could we forget about Mike Easler, our guest on the pregame show. 1 out, nobody on. 1-2 the count. magic number could be reduced to 7 if Beers can hold on here. Two and 2. This weekend, the Cubs come to town, then Houston will be in town.
Standing room only available for the Cubs series, but a lot of good seats available for probably the time when the Cardinals will clinch the Central Division crown. You want to make sure you're on hand for that one.
2-2 the count. We've got 2 of the games on Fox Sports Net.
And if necessary, we'll pick up the third to make sure that you will see the celebration.
Cincinnati has one. A ground ball to third. Nifty footwork by Will Clark. Tickets remain for the Astros series, 421-2400. The charge line open at 8 a.m. tomorrow, Monday through Saturday, or online, STLCardinals.com. STLCardinals.com on the web, 421-2400. Tickets remain for the Astros series as the Stros come to town for the first of 3, and we'll be talking about a Central Division championship. Here's Pat Mears with 2 outs. Pop back and out of play. Mentioned that Cincinnati won 13-3 over Chicago, so the magic number would be 7 if the Cardinals get this final out. Wow. Hate to see what that guy would do for a piece of pizza.
A lot of people have seen what he does for pizza.
1-1 pitch. 2-1. Rick Ankiel will improve to 9-7. If the Cardinals hold on here in the ninth. Popped up left side, and this could be a sweep in Pittsburgh. Renteria calls for it, has it. Magic number is at 7. A sweep here in Pittsburgh. First time the Cardinals have done that since 1990. Here at Three Rivers Stadium over the Pirates as the Cardinals make their last visit here to Three Rivers, and it's on to PNC next year, and they get the sweep in their final visit here to Pittsburgh in 2000. 9-5, our final magic number is at 7. 9-13-1 for St. Louis, 5-10-1 for Pittsburgh. And remember, Al, in 96, this is where the Cardinals clinched it. A division title. Looks like they're going to do it at home in 2000.
They're going to do it at home, probably against the Houston Astros, but it could be as early as the Cubs series. But it's a great feeling, and one more time, a good team win. Will Clark got us on the scoreboard with a double and 2 RBIs in the first, and Rick Ankiel was very special again tonight.
Rick Ankiel double figures in the strikeouts tonight. The Cardinals wrap up a sweep here in Pittsburgh. 9-7. Ankiel is improved his record here in 2000. The Cardinals now have 85 victories. 9-5 our final for Al Hrabowski, Tim Pabst, Tom Mee, Tom McLaughlin, Doug Stanton, and Lindsey Polite, and all our gang here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We thank you for being with us. Cubs and Cardinals. Our next telecast, 6:30 on Friday night, Fox Sports Net. National Sports Reports coming up next.